Hey, the return of Miller Lite Carb Day is coming up. That's May the 27th out at IMS. Tickets are available right now, and they haven't had them the past 2 years because of the COVID-related situation. And let me tell you this, it is going to be fantastic. You got Rick Springfield, you got Morris Day and the Time, and the headliners. The group is called Kings of Chaos. Matt Sorum got them all together, and also a part of this is going to be a Hoosier native that you guys will enjoy hearing talk and converse back and forth with me. Sean McNabb, the longtime artist, musician, certainly you know him from Quiet Riot, joins us now, the pride of Bloomington, Indiana. Sean, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good, JMV. Thank you so much for having me today. And I just want to really thank the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and everything for having us. We're looking forward to giving you guys just a great rock and roll show.
Kings of Chaos, I call it a rock supergroup, because you got all these names, all these personalities, including yourself, and you've just done great work, all coming together. And sometimes the lineup changes, sometimes it stays the same. How do you all figure out who's going to play where, when, and at what point? How's this figured out?
Well, that's more, this is Matt Sorum's baby. That's more of a question for Matt when he joins us. I'm kind of the new guy, so I don't want to overstep, but sure. I'm super honored to be involved in the Kings of Chaos. This has been in the works for a while, then COVID hit and everything. But, we've got Sebastian Bach on this one, the great Sebastian Bach, Lita Ford, we've got John Waite, we've got Jack Blades from Night Ranger. Now think about that, how much great material is just there, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
And you throw in Matt Sorum and Gilby Clarke from Guns N' Roses, that material, you throw in Warren DeMartini from Rat, and that's going to be one heck of a set of rock and roll.
Let me tell you this, and that's the thing I want people to understand, Sean, is you play the best from everybody, from individual artists to groups or whatever. And you mentioned Jack Blades. There's no better dude out there than Jack Blades of Night Ranger. So you're going to get that, and so much of what he certainly accomplished, as a musician in the 1980s.
Oh, he's amazing, and he produced a record when I was in Great White for us, and he just did such a fantastic job. Not only is he a great performer, but he's a great writer. And I've been dusting off these Night Ranger songs, and I'm just like, wow, I forgot how great this is.
Sean McNabb joins us too. All right, the thing you may not know about Sean, and hopefully you do now. So I saw initially that you were from South Bend, Indiana, and I had no idea until we were talking before we started this. You actually were the class of 1981 at Bloomington North High School, and you have family still living in Bloomington, Indiana right now.
I do. I'm a Hoosier. I'll always be a Hoosier. I grew up going to the track. This is really special for us, and me especially, to get to play the Indy 500. That's a dream come true from a kid from Indiana, and just the history of the track and all that. We grew up going in the 70s, and just those to play Carb Day and see those cars just going flat out, man. And you throw in some loud guitars, that's going to be a good day.
It is going to be a great, again, Sean McNabb joins us. You started with Quiet Riot, I believe 1985. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sean. Was that the year?
Yeah, 86. Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit earlier. My first concert ever was 1983, November of 1983, Quiet Riot and Nazareth. That was Quiet Riot's first as a headliner, November of 1983 at Market Square Arena, my first.
Yeah, that's really cool. Thanks for bringing that up, because obviously, I was a lot younger, and they were one of my favorite bands at the time, but that was actually their first headlining show. They had only been a support act up to that point. So that was a big one. And it was pretty cool. You and I were there as kids and got to see that, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's no doubt. A little White Castle afterwards for a variety of reasons too, back in the day. But man, those are the memories too. Market Square Arena has so many great memories for concerts for me as well. But you grew up in Bloomington, obviously an incredibly talented musician. How did you make your way out to Southern California and then end up at 86 joining Quiet Riot?
Well, I played the club circuit for a long, long time in Indy and Florida and the East Coast. And I just want to say it's about Market Square Arena. We used to hitchhike up to Indianapolis from Bloomington to go to concerts, and you could still do that.
Yeah.
And I just saw so many great shows there, and what a history at Market Square. But I ended up moving out to Los Angeles in a beat up Nissan with an amp, a couple of changes of clothes, and $200 in my pocket, and a dream. And I was very lucky. It was a God thing. I was at the right place at the right time. And I got in Quiet Riot 2.5 weeks later, and just it lined up for me, you know?
Yeah, it's been amazing because you've played, and has to be the most gratifying part. I mean, it's one thing because when you're young, like you were when you first got that opportunity in '86, man, it's getting out there and rocking, and it's having a crowd and it's partying. But now we're both a little bit older. How much you look in the rearview and go, how gratifying it is knowing, all the artists, the musicians, the great ones that you have played with, including the guy that's brought you into Kings of Chaos and Matt Sorum.
Yeah, Matt is incredible. I'm so lucky, to get to play with a drummer of that caliber and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame member. And he's such a great guy too. And he's put together this killer band that rotates a little bit. Sometimes they have Robin Sanders, sometimes they have Billy Gibbons. It's who's ever available. But I'm super blessed. And back to the Quiet Riot thing. Frankie Benelli, God rest his soul, gave me my start in the business, and Quiet Riot led to House of Lords, Great White, Dokken, Don Felder from the Eagles. The list goes on and on. Montrose. I've been blessed to have a great career, and just coming out of. I dreamed about all that, as a kid in Bloomington, and worked real hard to get there. But I'm still doing it, man. We're still here.
Dude, let me tell you, you haven't worked. I mean, I mean this in a good way. You haven't worked a day in your life if you absolutely thoroughly enjoy what you do, man. And there's something special about that. You grew up as a musician, you continue that, making a great living, a great living for others around you too. That has to be incredibly gratifying.
It sure is. And I know how lucky I am, and I think the best part of all that is when somebody comes up to you on the road and goes, that song, it got me through this, or, I got married to that song or something, it's those kind of, you see the smiles on people's faces that are having such a great time. It's those kind of things that are the most gratifying.
Kings of Chaos is I shouldn't say the opener, but it is the feature artist coming up during Carb Day, the return of Miller Lite Carb Day, the 27th of May. Out at IMS. I'm curious, how many stops have you had so far with Kings of Chaos? How new are you to the band, Sean?
I'm actually brand new. This is my first gig.
It's your first gig. Awesome.
I had a couple gigs on the books, and COVID took those away. And so I'm really excited. We're putting together the show and rehearsing this next week, and it's going to be one heck of a rock show. And don't forget, Rick Springfield opening up. I love Rick Springfield. I got several friends in that band. And then there's Morris Day and the Time. If you're not dancing at a Morris Day and the Time show, you are not alive.
There is no doubt. He gets that flavor, obviously, from Minneapolis, and under the wing of the late great Prince as well. You got not only Morris Day at the Time, but Morris Day. Some people forget about this. When he stopped the Time and just went solo for a while, he ended up putting together some really good stuff in the late 80s in that fashion as well. But no, I talk about that all the time. I love the fact that you guys are able to, you essentially play the hits of everybody that is inside the particular band. For example, John Waite, I believe, was with you guys. So you can go John Waite solo, obviously. You can go the Babies if you want to go that route. And then Bad English, I believe John Waite was a part of that as well. So you got a lot to choose from with so many talented people in this band.
Yeah, I'm super stoked about working with John. I've never met him, but I was the biggest Babies fan. Like that Head First record, just changed my life. And there's rumors that we might be doing some Babies. So,
well, I was going to ask you, can you let us in? Like, is there anything coming from your catalog of groups that you've been a part of in the past? Can you tell us anything at all?
I don't want to say too much because we want it to be a surprise, but there's so many great artists involved in this that we're going to have a great rock and roll set. That's all I can say.
I love that, man. Well, I'll tell you what, I want you to get out with me at some point. Either I'll meet you backstage or you can come out to Pagoda Plaza, maybe spend a couple of minutes with me out there talking to the folks, but I can't wait to see you. This is going to be an awesome rock show. Kings of Chaos is the feature. It's the return of Miller Lite Carb Day. That's May the 27th out at IMS after 2 years of no Carb Day. It is back. I'm assuming you also, in closing, have some memories of some Snake Pit, some Carb Day of your own back in the day, right? Going up there so much.
Absolutely. And I just love the history of the track. It's obviously the biggest spectacle in racing and motorsports. And I grew up with that. But I want to ask you a question,
Sure.
Jim. Who's your favorite to win this 500?
Well, it's an interesting question, Sean, you ask. I have picked Ed Carpenter, a hometown guy, to win for like the last 6 years. And I think, frankly, we're to a point because he doesn't win that he wants me to stop picking him to win. Now, he much like us, very hometown. Yeah, it means a lot. I know it means a lot to everybody, but certainly it means a lot to him. I'll check him out on qualifying weekend and see what he looks like. But the last 6 years I've gone with Ed Carpenter. He's been close at least once in those 6 years. So I'm probably thinking of Ed, but the guy that won the GMR Grand Prix this past weekend out there in Colton Herta probably should be at the front of the pack. Just in great team, incredible talent, fast car. We'll see how it shakes out on qualifications, but he's probably somebody you put right up at the head of the field.
Absolutely. I was there last year, and that was just so cool to see. Helio won the race, and that was really cool. This year, I'm a big Dixie fan. I love Dixon. I'm going to put my money on Scott McLaughlin this year. I think he's coming.
Yeah,
and,
that's a good point. That's a good call by you right there. Yeah, got a race win already once, so yeah.
Yeah, I think he's coming, and he's gotten better on the ovals. And man, I really do love this stuff. I watch every single race, and I'm also about the F1. But I just want to say thank you again for having me, and thanks to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for having Kings of Chaos. I mean, you're making a dream come true for me just to be able to play there and stick around for the race.
Well, I tell you what, we need to have more time some other time because I wanted to get Sons of Anarchy in there and all these other questions, but I know we both we got to get going. But man, it's it's great, is it not? Synonymous with a musician and acting for you right there. This has been quite the ride for you.
Very similar, and I'm really lucky. I just finished a movie in Albuquerque with Mickey Rourke, and it's slow but it's steady, and I can't tell you anything about that yet, but I was happy to had a nice little part there, and we're charging with that too. We also wrote a film in the pandemic, which we shot at the beginning of the year that we're editing right now. That's ours, and looking forward to getting that out on streaming and things.
Well, call me or text me, especially when you're around or not around. If you just want to call in between 3 and 6 Eastern at some point and talk sports, just call in and do it. We'll just have a conversation. We don't have to talk about music, or we can if you want. We can talk about whatever you want. Just feel free.
Cool. I'm looking forward to hanging with you, and hopefully we can hang a little bit on Sunday too.
You got it.
Well,
I'll be doing a pre-race show. Pre-race show. I do a Saturday night all request kind of throwback 80s style music show, and then I'll do pre-race beginning at 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. So if you're out there, not at 5 a.m., but obviously once you get out there, let me know and you come by and we'll talk it up with you. That's no problem.
Cool. I'm staying there right by the track at a friend's house that lives like you can throw a rock at the track.
Well, we'll have to kick back with a couple. There's no doubt. But man, hey, it's great talking to you. Cannot wait to see Kings of Chaos play. It's even more awesome that it's going to be your debut with them coming up on Carb Day. But Sean, thank you very much for the time and sharing that with us today. And we'll see you coming out during Carb Day and spend the weekend out here with you. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you so much, JMV.
So Sean McNabb right there, Kings of Chaos. They are the feature, the return to Miller Lite Carb Day. May the 27th, IMS tickets available right now.